What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is October or something day, I don't know. It's Friday, bro. It's Freaky Friday, bro. Getting freaky on a Friday night. Except you're not getting freaky on a Friday night. Okay, we are all children of God here. I want all of you to stay inside. All right? Don't go out there. It's cold. It's dangerous. Niggas are crazy. Okay, people just stay inside with me. All right, it's rare that you guys see me on a Friday, right? But there's a lot going on, so we gotta talk about what is going on, and then also once you're done, you gotta continue to stay with me forever and ever. So just forget your friends, forget your family, forget your responsibilities. It's me and you. Just Omni. First, let's finish off Collargate, okay? For the past two videos and now on this third one, we've been talking about Hasan Piker, okay? And him and his dog Kaya and whether he shocked him or not. It's called Collargate. I believe we are reaching the end of the saga, okay? Until it bleeds out and we start talking about something else. You know how the news works. I still can't believe we have spent, it's interesting. I can't believe that there's been so much energy towards this. But you know, the internet loves being detectives, okay? So whenever there is a mystery afoot where clues are coming, people start looking and enhancing and looking for the truth, okay? People really like looking into these things. But yeah, I think we've reached the end. TLDR, in case you missed everything and in case you did miss everything, okay, just go into the description below. I have two videos there that can show you from the past two videos that can give you a recap of everything that's been happening this week, okay? But yeah, here's Hasan Piker, political commentary streamer, okay? A lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him. It is what it is. He has a dog. Her name is Kaya, okay? She's very cute. She has a collar. Looked like she got shocked in one of the screens. People were like, bro, is this animal abuse? And some people were like, I don't know. I think he just stepped her dew claw or something. Oh, fast forward, the next day shows off a collar. The collar looks like it has tape on it. People are like, huh? Are you fooling us, Hasan? This don't look right. All this smells really fishy. YouTubers weigh in. MoistCritikal weighs in. Charlie, who's been staying out of the limelight with talking about this stuff, comes in and usually just makes ha funny videos, comes in and says, bro, this does not look good. And now we are at the place where Hasan is now responding to Charlie, aka MoistCritikal. And you guys know Charlie. We've talked about him a lot on the channel, okay? The big chunk of wung of the guy himself, okay? And yeah, that's where we are. He's responding. Let's get into it.
Even breathe in the direction of Moist if I were you, to be honest. I mean, he put his fucking flag on the, he put his stake on this, okay? He was like, oh, enough people shit on him. It's good enough. It's like obviously not a, it's obviously, no matter how fucking made up a narrative it is, if a clip looks bad enough, then he will go with it. And he will just use these guys, all these guys fucking do is basically farm Reddit for talking points, and Reddit can so easily be botted and manipulated.
Okay, so it's been 40 seconds, and Hasan is saying that Charlie is just basically repeating narratives that he's seen on Reddit, and that Reddit is specifically live stream fails is botted and manipulated. Okay, first 40 seconds of that's what his claim is so far. So right now he's not happy that Charlie, MoistCritikal, had the opinion that the clip in question did not look good. Okay, I'll keep playing it, but just as a recap, as a comment. Okay, Hasan himself also said that it doesn't look good. He said it himself. He was like, yeah, I get it. It does not look good. So this is the whole point that I'm trying to make, that I feel like we should not be discrediting people for looking at this clip and being like, whoa, this clip doesn't look good, brother. And culmination, everything. And then also, again, brushing off the valid concern that when his dog Kaya did yelp, okay, it did seem like he was irritated. It didn't seem like he called her a big baby and stuff. Like some people, it's fine. It's fine to be criticized, right? But it feels like in this situation, when he receives criticism, then he starts to go on the offense.
And I don't think we're ever going to get ahead of that. There's just nothing we can do. Bro, he said you're abusing Kyle. Like, no way, fuck him. Yeah, I mean, if he thinks that he can suck my dick. Weird how quiet he was.
Again, I may be in the camp. Please don't. I don't think I'm being naive. I have to believe that Hasan loves his dog. I have to believe it. I have to believe it for the sake of humanity. If this man was secretly some abusive dude from his, I have to believe this, okay? For my own heart and for my own sanity and for my own faith in humanity. There's been clips that you guys have been showing me where he's had interactions with dogs in the past. Like I said, grabbing a dog with the tail and everything like that. And I'm hoping that was like a one-off or something. People were like, Omni, do not be fooled. This man hates it. I can't be in that camp. I have to believe that this man is not as heartless as a heartless human being, and that he does actually have a good relationship with his dog. Some people think that Kaya is just a prop and he just props dogs up in order to kind of use for internet points or something like that. That's fine. I'm trying to believe in the faith of humanity and give him the benefit of the doubt here.
About literal pedophilia in certain communities. I mean, it took him 2 years to fucking come out and be like, yeah, the genocide is happening and it's really fucking bad, actually. So Charlie's been on a good streak lately. He genuinely cares about dogs.
So it's interesting that Hasan talks about, you know, Reddit and how people are using their clips and then rinsing it and then basically, you know, echoing the statements, right? But I do feel like, and then, I mean, again, this is healthy criticism. I agree with them. I do think that a lot of people just take these top clips and some of these people just literally parrot it and echo it and then boom, like validation. That's how the internet can sometimes work. That's why sometimes I come up here and make opinions that don't validate the biggest narrative and people are like, bro, Omni, what the hell, you know? At the same time, I do feel like what Hasan does with his community, okay, it's like an echo chamber, is he looks for the comments and that basically show him and validates his side and his support, and then he reads it and it is like, yeah, so it's like it's a circle jerk. Everyone's circle jerking. Let's not. I don't like the idea that somehow we are above this. You feel me, y'all? Like I'm not above this. Okay, this is how the world works, right? So it's like we can respect and accept that, yes, the circle jerk and the echo chamber sometimes comes into effect. He's quite literally responding to comments from people who support his community for the most part. Sometimes he does respond to the bad ones as well, but it does need to follow a certain narrative. My point being is that no one's above it. Okay, we're all kind of like in it a little bit. I do my best to be as independent thought as possible. That's why you and I clash from time to time. But we like that. We like the clash. We like the fight. But I don't like it. Okay, just be a cult. Just agree with everything that I say. Okay, I'm tired of having to take accountability and responsibility for the things that I say.
Talks about how much he cares about dogs and pets all the time. So do I, dumb fuck. That's the reason why I'm fucking pissed off. That's the reason why I'm fucking annoyed. He could just like unironically reach out and be like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what was this about? This clip looks bad. You know what I mean? Hey, Hasan, I know we've been around one another before. We've actually been around one another, and a lot of the people that I know that I'm around all the time and do content with have not only been around you, but also been around Kaya. He could have just fucking hit up, not me, but any number of different people to be like, hey, do you think there's any veracity? Do you think there's any veracity to these claims? Not just like, don't ask me directly. Do your due diligence. Why the fuck do you go to Reddit for talking points, dumbass?
So again, I don't like that Hasan just constantly tries to dunk on criticism. When someone says something about Hasan and says like, yeah, this doesn't look good, this doesn't look right, this looks suspicious, and then he just goes straight into just like calling ad hominems. I'm not a huge fan of that. I've seen that play out over and over and over again. Okay. I'm not out here to do that either as well. That's not how I like to have conversations. I get and empathize with the fact that he is upset. Okay. If he truly believes that he has this relationship with Kaya that's healthy, and people are saying, I can understand and empathize with that as well. But I feel like it's very discrediting to just keep, just calling your people who criticize you dumbasses all of the time. I'm not a huge fan of that. I watched Charlie's video, MoistCritikal video, and he was talking objectively about public information, okay? Clips, right? That is out there. And anything that is out there when it comes to public information can still be viewed and looked at, right? And then responded to as well. There's no need to kind of go in to kind of check in on what your character is, because there's a lot of people who we can find out what their character is and they will act out of character. There's a lot of people who will be like, yeah, I did do something bad, but I'm gonna let you know, I'm gonna soften the blow and let you know I'm not anything like that. It doesn't change the objective information is just floating out there. And I kind of wish that Hasan could kind of like view that like from the other side, see this from the other side, and not just straight up attack people for looking at something that does look really bad, that he himself has said looks really bad, you know? And basically like, yeah, I can see why Charlie felt this way. I would have told him specifically these things if he would have reached out to me, and maybe that would have cleared some things. And you know, I would have went about it a different way, but he's very angry.
Fucking moron are you? It's fucking insane to me that like this is what goes for like doing commentary on the internet, is just like, oh, these are the Reddit threads from some of the most like schizophrenic people you've ever actually encountered. This is all it takes for me. He said you hide the bad stuff from your friends? He said I hide.
Did he watch the video? I'm not sure if he's watched the video.
Okay, I'm gonna DM him. Gross. Fucking moron. All right, whatever.
See, yeah, nah, man. I got people who criticize me, tell me things, correct me. I'm not in the space though of any kind of criticism being or telling people that they're crazy or insane or moronic. It comes off as like, if you're not like with me, then you're an idiot. That's what it comes off as, right? And there's nothing like that black and white. So now we have a clip of Valkyrae that I think people are saying that Valkyrae and Hasan, I don't know if they're boyfriend and girlfriend. I think at one point it was clear and obvious. I don't know if it's still the thing or not. I don't know. But Valkyrae is one of the biggest YouTube female streamers, and she's been around the block for a pretty long time, and they have a good relationship. And she spoke out about this situation, and here's a clip, and this is how she feels. But guys, before we get further into today's topics, I'm happy to announce that today's video is sponsored by Dbrand. Dbrand is a company that excels in making heavily customized accessories for electronic devices. Phones, laptops, gaming systems, controllers, AirPods. If you can think it, they definitely have it. I'll keep today's sponsor short and sweet. Okay, I'm pretty sure you have a Nintendo Switch too, and this thing costs you an arm and a leg, and the games are like $100 plus, okay? This is something you need to protect. Dbrand has a case called the Kill Switch, okay? This bad boy, once you put this into this, this literally becomes impenetrable. It's extremely easy to install. I'm gonna do it right here. There's 3 pieces, the 2 grips and then the front plate. And then once these things are on, okay, you can throw this bad boy on as well. And yeah, you basically have an impenetrable fortress. And it comes with a dock, so you don't have to keep taking the case off, okay? You can literally just plug it right onto here and do exactly what the Nintendo Switch 2 dock already does, okay? So it keeps you protected and connected. You guys can go over to dbrand.com/omni. You'll be supporting the channel. Go ahead and grab yourself a Kill Switch. This thing is really freaking nice, high quality, and you won't have to worry any kind of oopsie woopsies. And again, special thanks to Dbrand for sponsoring today's video.
Oh yes, I have seen the Kaya stuff, and let me tell you, Kaya is, well, first of all, the clip did look horrible. The clip was really bad.
So look, again, all right, just pause it again. All right, I appreciate her saying this. Hasan has said this as well. It does look really bad, okay? Again, there are some people that are like still acting in good faith, like me, who's still not jumping to the conclusion that he is a dog abuser and needs to be removed from Twitter. I'm not jumping to that yet, okay? I'm just simply saying, like, bro, it looks really bad. And even the explanation that you're given still looks a little sus, bro. Like, it still looks a little sus. Everything is a little bit sus, and it's completely fine for me to feel a little bit sus. I'm not a moron or an idiot or insane, okay? Don't gaslight me into thinking that what occurred here was a little bit sus. Just don't. Even your girl was saying that it looks really bad, and some of the added information probably is weird. But then what happens is that if you have a personal connection with this person, right? Like Valkyrae or your friends, you have a bias, right? And the bias is that I've seen this person with their dog. I've seen it. I've seen things that you have not seen. He loves this dog, okay? That's the argument, which is a completely fair argument, which is why people in his circles would probably be like, no, there's no way that Hasan would do this. There's no way. Nobody else has that information. And so that's kind of what ends up happening.
It was so bad. And it's understandable why everyone was freaking out about it.
Thank you. I mean, that's nice.
Verify that Kaya is the most loved and spoiled and just the most well-trained and best little baby or big baby that I have ever been around.
Okay.
And that I have ever seen. So Big, big, big baby.
So this is, again, some people are gonna be like, Omni, this is Valkyrae, this is his girlfriend, this is, of course he was going to say, like, let's not discredit it, okay? I'm not trying to discredit Valkyrae just because they do have a friendship or a potential relationship, okay? I get the conflict of interest, okay? I get it, but that doesn't, I think it's important to get her testimony as well.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy. You would think that this kind of outrage, we would have seen it towards like the genocide and stuff, but you know, this priorities in this world are not where they should be.
Oh gosh. Okay. This is the one. It's you guys probably, you don't know if you guys know this me, but I'm into like a lot of philosophy, psychology, debating and all of this. And it's the situation where you and I are talking about, you know, item A, we're talking about this thing, right? And then what happens is, man, you know, we're talking about this. There's a lot of energy here. Where was that energy for B? You know? And what ends up happening is it's a bit of a triangulation. You're bringing in another event to kind of suggest that the energy for A is discrediting the energy for A. And it actually doesn't address what is going on A. It's taking attention from an isolated event, and it takes it away as almost as a distraction to kind of make you feel bad, to make you think, where is the attention, right? Because then this turns into a place where people say, well, where's your energy for Palestine? Well, then somebody can say, like, well, where's your energy for the rest of the world? Where's your energy for places that are happening in Africa and Asia and with Ukraine and here and here? And what about the starving kids here? And what about the 100 kids who died here? And then it can keep going to this place where you keep pivoting and trying to find something bad that's happening around the world to the point where we've completely stopped talking about the thing, which is the point. Right? Is she wrong? She's not wrong. Okay. Some people do not carry the same energy for what's happening here with what's happening around the world. But we can't expect people to always carry the same energy equally for everything as well. Some people kind of focus on specific points. And just because they're hyper focusing on a specific thing does not mean that they shouldn't be able to do that. I will say, though, that yes, there are some people who are going to hyper focus on Hasan Piker specifically. Okay. He has haters. So his haters, again, if he sneezes left or right, farts, cough, poops, whatever, they're going to get on his ass immediate, right? And there's also the concept of people who do similar things as Hasan, okay? And they ignore it as long as they're kind of still sitting on their flag or on their side. So I get the whole spiel that's playing. I'm not a dumbass. I'm not ignorant. But the whataboutism is, you got to be careful with that, because consistently saying, well, what about Palestine? Well, where's this energy for Palestine? When that just becomes the answer, it feels like it just becomes dismissive after a while. The point has been made, but it feels like it's dismissing the original point. That's just kind of how I feel. If you guys disagree, let me know, though.
But alas, it's herd mentality. I mean, I think from the clip, it's understandable why people were very concerned.
Okay, yeah, see?
But just knowing Hasan and knowing like how I've been around Kaya a lot and him, and I just like know that he would never ever abuse Kaya.
So I appreciate Valkyrae for saying, like, I understand. It's like she's practicing empathy. She's like, I get it. If I watched this clip, if I didn't have the information that I had about Hasan, I absolutely get it. Because yes, there's a lot of herd mentality out there. The tribalism in 2025 is absolutely insane. I think it's just because it's like more in front, and you can see it more than ever, the tribalism that's going on at play. So I appreciate her at least showing empathy for the fact that, yeah, it does look bad twice in the same clip. But yeah, she is using her personal experience with Hasan to say, yeah, no, I can account for and test for the fact that he is super spoiled, you know, and she's a baby. Okay. And then it comes to your place. Where do you want to believe that Valkyrae is saying this authentically, or do you guys think that she's saying this to kind of like soften the blow? I try to err towards people being less evil more than more evil. That's kind of like my thing. I think over time it's been shifting, but I have to believe when it comes to like the animals, like we would protect animals like we would protect kids as well. I have to believe that Valkyrae is the type of person where if Hasan was absolutely terrible to his dog, that Valkyrae would be like, hell no. I'd have to, right? That's just what I'm trying to believe. You guys don't have to believe with me, okay? So again, there's a lot of people in prior videos that were kind of upset. They felt like I wasn't playing enough clips that were kind of like showing people in support of Hasan. The reason why is because there wasn't a lot. I'm not like purposely going out here to find clips or contents that show Hasan in a bad light. There just was not a lot of people out here trying to show support for Hasan in this situation that was there. Valkyrae is one of the first people, the big ones that are coming here and verbalizing her support for Hasan. So here it is, another clip with Valkyrae talking about Hasan and this whole situation with Kaya.
I already talked about Kaya,
Odin left
and
me
it's
like
not
I didn't
a
know
shot
where exactly I
caller,
could be
it's
where I
a
wouldn't get Odin and not get hit by the door.
For communication,
perhaps
when she's off leash at the park because she's well trained and she's a very good girl and she's a very big girl and she's very loved
Could I
and
interest
spoiled
you guys
and precious
in
and
another
kind, and
cat
Hasan
brush?
would never. So.
A lot of people talking over each other, but she said it's just a vibrator, okay, and that the dog is spoiled and Hasan would never.
You would say that, Keith. What do
we
you want
got
me
it
to
now.
say?
Just be more
That
strategic.
this beautiful
Can't
dog
be
is getting
that.
abused on camera.
here.
Like, come on.
Let me cook.
Let's
for a
switch
sec.
it. Let's
Use your
format
brain.
and one mid lurk.
Like, that's crazy.
Okay, I
you
like
think that anyone
Who
I
wants
surround
color?
myself with is like a bad person?
It's probably red, and then we omen blind this.
Like, use your brain.
This is very Hasan like, right? But again, this is a human thing too as well. Like the whole use your brain. Like, are you an idiot? Like, are you stupid? Are you a moron? That's it runs in the family, right? I'm not a fan of it. Okay, I don't want to call anybody an idiot for having an opposing opinion. That's it. What I think it's happening, right, is that, someone said you would say that, right? And then it makes her mad. It's challenging her ego. It's challenging her character. You're saying like, why would you think that I would do this, be around somebody who would be abusing their dogs? Okay. Like, you idiot kind of thing. And so I empathize with that as well. I think again, a human thing is that when your character is being attacked, okay, and you feel like it's being attacked in a way that you feel is unfair or unjust, then we kind of respond in a way usually with anger, sometimes with calling the other person an idiot or something like that. And the heat of the moment, it's not always easy to kind of just not do that. But I do think you have to pay attention to people who specifically respond with similar rhetoric or feelings or I would say even in anger. You got to pay attention to it as well, because not everyone responds to the challenge of the ego in the same way, and there's a reason for it.
I think people just hate him for other reasons and are just digging.
Like-
I just wish that more people would put more energy into hating like sex traffickers, genocide
You can save.
people with genocidal apologists, like people that are like
you can play
getting
here if you
raped and people that are getting killed, all these kids that are
shorty.
getting murdered, like pedophiles, like actual criminals. Like, where is the energy?
Okay, wall them off.
So this is the thing that she did with the Palestine. It's kind of like, I wish that people would stop having this hate boner for Hasan and would carry this energy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate things. Okay, which I actually unironically agree with her in a little bit. Where, yeah, I think people do have selective outrage, okay? I do think that Hasan's been on the internet for a very long time, and it has allowed him to gather a large amount of bad faith with some folks and some good faith with some folks as well. So, like I said, they're going to be very hypersensitive specifically to Hasan. But again, just because they are putting energy towards this person and not towards something else, I don't think it's indicative of still not being able to receive criticism. It's trying to spread out the concept and the idea and saying, where's the energy? A part of me feels like a lot of people don't put in the energy towards these things that she's saying about because of a lack of, I would say, it actually being put out in front or trying to understand it. Or sometimes it's so much of it because, I mean, in my opinion, right? I think all of us have been saying like, put the Epstein files out, right? right? Everyone's been calling this whole thing with Israel and Hamas and this whole the war with Israel and Hamas, but the whole thing with Israel and Palestine, a genocide, is getting to the point where it's kind of like getting completely clear that these people are getting ethnically cleansed and wiped out. As Donald Trump simply says, "Hey, bro, let's move all you niggas out the way so that I can build an oasis." And Donald Trump is also talking about conquering other countries, bro. It's getting to that point where we're like, bro, this is very clear at this point at the 2-year mark, which we'll talk about later. It sounds like we may finally have a ceasefire between these two. But yes, again, I think there are some people who are like in circles or in communities where the information that they actually consume doesn't always involve all of the other things that are happening around the world. And it feels like it's kind of like saying, why don't you get out of your community and your space and your bubble and go visit other bubbles and put your energy towards there? There's a little bit of justification in there as well, but still feels like a bit of deflection. The criticism on Hasan still allowed as well, while also being like, yes, energy could be put elsewhere.
Where is it? Like, it's actually so weird seeing the
Yeah, I like
priority.
that we're so safe. It's so comfy here.
She might updraft us.
She lives!
Anyways,
Okay, do we want to save
I
for
hold
the
myself
final
as a
round?
charitable
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
I like to look for
I
the
think
good in
like lighter.
people, and I like to believe that people would also look towards me in the same way.
Borrow
Yeah.
my gun
I think I'm an
because not
empathetic person,
particularly
and
entry
I
type of
assume
person,
that
so
people
if
You're the
don't
entry
do
type of
things
person.
maliciously.
Well, I'm
Hear me
until
out.
they
and I would
do.
like
We're the same in that way. I feel that from Valkyrae. But hopefully, by the way, guys, this criticism that I'm making, the responses, okay, I'm trying to give also the benefit of doubt to Valkyrae as well here as well. I'm trying to be good, okay? But yeah, I would like to think that I try to give people the benefit of the doubt more than not, okay? Sometimes to my own peril. I just don't want to be in a place where a person is being attacked for something or a character trait that they don't actually have or something that they haven't done. We've been doing this YouTube thing for a pretty long time where people have been boxed into corners that they don't actually sit in. And that sounds like a very, very horrible thing to be a part of. This is why I'm so careful. It's like I would prefer to give someone to be the benefit of the doubt and be like wrong than to condemn a person that still has room for their character to be shown too early and then be wrong on that condemnation. I don't want to accidentally be on that side of history because that would suck. I'm very, very, very careful with trying not to be there. That's why some of you guys are like, Omni, why don't you just make this conclusive conclusion about things? Why do you always try to give people wiggle rooms or benefit of the doubts or room for redemption, bro? It's like, I don't like the idea of permanently characterizing someone with absolute 100% certainty. I like to try to keep a little bit of room for doubt. That's me. Doesn't have to be you either. It's just a me thing.
I just would
Tina,
hope
how
that
about
more
this? How about
people
you
would
wall
act
me up
that
with you
way.
here and we kill them on site B?
I don't like that because I'm not ready for those angles
But
just as much as they are.
it's
you
just
know?
we kind of just live in a really
Like-
like bad world. Like it's just very
unless
no maliciousness.
2A.
I mean, it's weird. Like this world
you have to
sucks.
get rid of that awe. It's just annoying.
I think it's also because like the way
He's
people are
repeating.
raised and there's like trust issues and
I think we just all
people get
five-man
hurt.
or four-man
People have
B.
trauma,
Mhm.
and
I
it's just everyone's getting hurt.
I agree with her. World kind of sucks from down time. And I think a lot of people have a lot of unresolved trauma, a lot of hurt. You know, I think a lot of people who express a lot of anger probably come from a place of being on the receiving end of a lot of anger as well, or just, you know, not healing from it and not recognizing it as well. I agree. Mental health is pretty messed up in a place where people are trying to figure out how to keep their head above ground in this state. But when you have like an administration, the Trump administration, where I feel like it's being pretty like just kind of being very aggressive, I feel like it's fueling fire. It doesn't feel like we're trying to figure out how to bring things down. It's a place where like, well, you did this, so I'm gonna do this. Okay. And it's even before the Trump administration, it feels like that we're trying to continue to fan flames of violence and not peace. And that can make a lot of people go crazy. This might be one of the last clips that I play, okay, as well. But people are saying that this was like animal cruelty. This was Hasan Piker back in 2019. And it was a clip where basically he was live streaming his dog that he had here. It was a pit bull. And this is the part where I told you last video that he was basically grabbing the dog by the tail. I, again, don't want to play it because it might be something that gets yoinked off of YouTube, okay? I can just probably show you maybe a part here. I'll just show this part here as well, but just listen to the explanation. But the point is, he talks and he's like, hey, come here. I'll fucking kill you, basically. To move him back there, right? Threatening the dog of his life, which I don't believe is the case. Okay, I don't think he's actually means like I'm going to actually effing kill you. It's just his rhetoric. But then he does grab the dog by the back of his tail, the tailbone, right at the tailbone. Okay, and you can, like I said in the last video, you can hurt your dog really badly when you pull a dog from the tailbone. The tailbone's connected to their vertebrae, their spine. All right, so it's like getting your spine pulled. It's not a good look. It happened in 2019. And this is an example where I would say, yes, this is a mistreatment of your pet and your dog. It is not something that you would ever want to repeat more than once that got captured on film. I think that's it. Outside of Valkyrae, I have not seen a lot of his friends or people or supporters or YouTubers coming out here and speaking out in defense of Hasan. I believe because the clip looks so bad. So people are kind of like, yeah, this is something that you're going to have to kind of tackle on your own. In my opinion, again, I don't know the verdict of whether or not Hasan is an animal abuse. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I do know that he's done some things with some dogs that I don't agree with. I also do feel like, again, my whole opinion about this, the whole kind of thing was when Kaya was hurt, you know, like the only thing I felt a little bit weird about was when she was hurt that he didn't go directly to her, right? My baby yelps and she hurts her too close. I don't know. That's just me. Some people are like, man, you never had a dog before. I've had 2 big dogs, or you're just a baby. You're babying your dog. Sometimes your dog yelps. No, I don't feel that way. Okay, I don't feel like if my dog yelps or screeches and then I just ignore it. That's not how I operate with animals. Okay, if an animal screeches or yells or pets or meows or something that happens and it doesn't sound good, I'm going to become very attentive and upright to figure out that there's nothing bigger happening. That's just me. If you want to raise your animals in a different way, that's up to you, but that's just how I feel. But yeah, I think at this point, what I think is going to happen, okay, we're reaching the end of the news cycle when it comes to this event. They have not been able to create enough conclusive evidence, some people may feel, so they're going to continue to support Hasan because he supports the things that they support, so continue to have that base. There's going to be some people like, I don't like what I saw here, and move back out the camp, and people are going to come to their opinions of what exactly happened or not. I don't know. I don't think he explained the whole tape situation, that there was tape on the back. I didn't see any explanation on that, so the whole tape on the back of the collar for the second day, I don't know what that's about. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's time to move on. I think you can kind of come to your own conclusion or no conclusion if you want to just take all the information in and then just add it to the data bank and be like, all right, that's accumulated. I will keep a mental note of that going forward. You can do that as well, but it's up to you guys to kind of come up with your own one. I'm not going to tell you what to feel. Just going to tell you what's happening here and let you know that this situation has a good way of kind of like showing clearly how the world works and how certain people function in it, and how there are going to be certain people who are very extremist. There's certain people who are very alarmist, people who jump to extreme conclusions, some people who kind of ignore, some people who ignore on the other side, people who hyper focus. It's an interesting social commentary experiment that I'd prefer not to have over a potential abuse of an animal, right? But it just kind of shows how all the dynamics that work in play here. And it's a little bit more complicated and convoluted because, again, Hasan Piker being a very big political figure saying a lot of controversial things, okay? The accumulation of this person means that there is a history here. A lot of people are carrying forward that this event is a new event and a series of events that have been happening for a very long time. Let me know how you guys feel about this situation in the comments below. What are your actual feelings about the situation? Are you coming to a conclusion? Do you think he did it? Do you think he didn't do it? You think he got blown out of proportion? Do you feel like it's in the proportion where it needs to be? How do you feel about Valkyrae? Okay, let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. And be good, okay? Behave. Moving on to something that's absolutely funny. Okay, I promise you guys that what you're going to see here is going to make you LOL most likely, okay? Dexerto said here, YouTube is giving banned creators a second chance on the platform. Only creators who have been banned for over a year will be eligible to apply. So if you guys don't know, we've talked about a lot of content creators over the years who have been ejectocito from the platform. Okay, we talked about Andrew Tate. Donald Trump got ejected, but then he sued and made a lot of money. Sneeko, J Station, Leafy is here, bro. Like a lot of people have gotten yoinked permanently for being a little bit too wild for different reasons. I think that Sneeko got removed for potential like COVID, but Sneeko was this guy. He's basically like a diet Andrew Tate. Was kind of like trying to kind of follow in his footsteps and do exactly what he did, but a little bit more a dieter. But he got removed, and then I think Leafy got removed for making like almost like 6 to 7 videos on Pokemon. Because Leafy is here as a commentator. I don't know if you guys don't know, but he just comes around, he plays CS and switches the swords and he just talks shit. That's the old school. A lot of people, there was a conversation, I saw a tweet recently where they were talking about how the old age of YouTube, where it was like Leafy is here, Keemstar, Pyrocynical, Grade A Andre, Ethan Klein again back then as well. Like that whole thing with the commentary space, they were like, this was the worst era of YouTube. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I miss it. I've always thought it was the best era of YouTube, bro. People coming out, because you know what? I felt like I wanted to make a video about this, but I just do a small rant. I feel like back in the day, 2018, 2019, I felt like people were just attacking each other because just out of their character. You know what? They was just like, I don't like you because you don't got no chin. I don't like you because of this. I don't like you because of that. It was personal, and it was kind of just straight to the point. It felt like a brawl. I feel like though, like 2025, because we've moved into a more political sphere when it comes to information, like you see all this like alt-right and liberal left and all the political space is very loud now to the point where it has taken over a lot of the commentary channels. A lot of people that you might have seen in commentary spaces are now talking specifically and only politics, because politics is a very hot button that's getting a lot of people views. Whenever Donald Trump is in office, okay, politics gets thrown up like skyrocket and people are kind of chasing after that horse. So when it turns into this whole thing about politics nonstop, now I'm in a place where I'm like, oh man, not as fun as it used to be, right? Because now we're talking about real shit. There are victims when it comes to like human rights and politics. There are people that are hurting. Okay, there are people being genocided. There are people who are under cruelty, and then it turns into factions. It turns into bigger echo hoes, right? It turns into, I would say that it removes the concept of people fighting amongst themselves. So instead of the circle, right? Imagine that monkey circle where 2 monkeys were fighting and everyone's kind of watching it. That's what YouTube was back in the day. It was just like monkey after versus monkey, Keemstar versus this person. It was like a fight, music videos that only had to do with these small groups of people. But now these small groups of people are identifying with larger groups of people who are impacted by like actual real life shit. And it's just like, damn, it's not like personal beef no more. Now these people are representing cultures. They're representing races. They're representing democracy or being a Republican or whatever. It's a representation of a bigger crowd. And for me, that becomes a little less entertaining because it turns into this, I'm standing behind a group of people versus I'm standing on my own. This is one of the reasons why when it came to that iDubbbz video that he made on Ethan Klein, I was like kind of like mad about it because I didn't feel like it was iDubbbz versus Ethan Klein. It was iDubbbz and he had his whole crew and Hasan and all this people. I'm like, man, the OG iDubbbz I know would just stand on 2 toes, right? And just say exactly how he feels, only for how he feels, without the regard of the representation of people. But it's changed. And so I prefer the old days versus the new days, but that's just me. You guys might disagree. That's completely fine. But anyway, ran over. Back to this. The part that I told you that would LOL. Andrew Tate made a video talking about how he is back and glad to be unbanned from the platform YouTube. That's right. We're going back, brothers.
Seems YouTube are unbanning people. Alex Jones is unbanned. Nick Fuentes is unbanned. I was banned around the same time. Perhaps I was one of the earliest bans in this entire culture war, supposedly for being a dangerous person and having all these crazy opinions. Crazy opinions like the COVID vaccines are dangerous and Trump should be our president. The percentage of people who died from the vaccine.
Man, how I really feel? I feel, oh God, I feel like Andrew Tate and even Donald Trump are like excellent comedians, right? That are just place themselves into the political sphere of the culture, if they would have just stayed there as like comedians, it would have been like top tier, right? I mean, you take these comedians and then they start pushing. Like, again, what I think it comes into a place as well is a little bit of grifting, and selling was selling. At the end of the day, right? Andrew Tate was facing sex trafficking allegations. There's been plenty of clips of him showing potentially being a pimp and abused towards OnlyFans types women and taken away. And the rhetoric that he spit, okay, was very, very, I would say, wild, okay? But he calls and talks about the whole concept of free speech, which I agree with. I agree with free speech as well. But you can have free speech, but also you still have to follow the terms of service of the YouTube platform, okay? So just because the Constitution says like you have the ability to say whatever you want, free speech, we're not going to punish you at a federal level. That does not mean that that you can just say what you want on these platforms that are also not having to follow the Constitution, that have their own terms of service and their rules. Okay, man clearly broke TOS several times. But he's saying that the reason why he got banned was for COVID misinformation and for supporting Trump.
So I look forward to coming back to YouTube. I don't say anything too extreme. I don't say anything too political. By and large, it's just me and my supercars, maybe a bit of training. I just bought a new super yacht, 42 meter, brand new. I'm into yachting now. I'll probably put that on YouTube. There's no extreme opinions from me. I'm just a guy with a whole bunch of money who pointed out the obvious, like women couldn't drive. We all know women can't drive. And I'm glad that we now live in a world where free speech is finally restored. This is my YouTube channel. I am guaranteeing you all at home, because YouTube is a fantastic company run on principles, that they are definitely not gonna ban me. Because I don't do anything even close to the line. I don't do any of the things the liberals do. I'm not like the left calling for the assassination of my political opponents. I'm not celebrating the death of people I disagree with. I'm not doing anything like that. I drive some cars, I make some jokes, I spend some money, I'm on my yacht, I do some weights. That's it.
Oh my God, bro. This man is a character. This dude is, I'm getting flashbacks of Greta Thunberg getting this man arrested because of a box of pizza that he ordered. He was making videos battling Greta Thunberg, bro. Literally after an hour of making that video, get his channel unbanned. Just in, Andrew Tate banned on YouTube 1 hour after getting unbanned. Absolutely freaking hilarious, bro. That's crazy that YouTube comes up with this thing. We're like, hey, we're going to unban all these people. We get to go through appeal, and then pow, rebanned again. I'm actually very curious to see what channels actually get unbanned. It would be absolutely crazy if Leafy came back in 2025. I feel like he came back one point in time and they banned him again. But even though they are unbanning certain people, it looks like they're rebanning them again. So there is still something happening where some people are being locked out of YouTube forever and ever indefinitely, and some people are getting a second chance. If any other big names pop up, I will let you guys know. But yes, the age of YouTube, in terms of it getting crazier and crazier, and we got AI and all of it, it's just only going to get more crazy. Let's wrap up, because I think I want to stream tonight, so I got to make this video, and I'm pretty late. Okay, I woke up late this night. I didn't sleep well last night, bro. I had my magnesium glycinate and everything, but I was just waking up like every 2 hours. I hate when that happens. I don't know why it happens sometimes. I need to figure that out. Anyway, Drake lawsuit against the UMG over Kendrick Lamar is Not Like Us has been dismissed. If you guys don't know, okay, you do know. You know they not like us. That happened. That was in the past 2 to 3 years. Kendrick absolutely destroyed Drake. Kendrick got a whole bunch of Grammy notifications. Grammy says, "Say Drake, I heard you like him young." On freaking the Super Bowl, okay, was the absolute biggest obliteration of any human being in a public space. It was rough. Lost the rap war, lost the rap beef. Drake fans right now are like, Omni, I used to come in on myself. Drake fans were like, no, Omni, he's still the best. He still might go. You know, after all these pedophile stuff, and now, after all this happened, Drake sued him. He said, "You know what? All right, I couldn't beat you in the court. I couldn't beat you in the box when we were rapping. I'm gonna beat you in court. That's my specialization." But he lost, bro. Man said Drake lost the battle the black way and the white way. so many. Was there a single W? Did he get a single W in this? I can't think of one W that Drake got at all in this, bro. It's the dismantling of Drake, of this entire thing between him and Kendrick, has been so oppressive. It's been so oppressive. It's been so one-sided. Has there been a single W? Also, update when it comes to the Israel-Hamas ceasefire. Okay, it looks like it's finally in place. Yesterday, when we were talking about the ceasefire, and then it said that Israel was still bombing Palestine at the same time, it was because they did not actually get to the agreement. It had to go through a vote over in Israel. So before the vote, the war was still going. The ceasefire did not actually become official until what I believe is now. And this new updated summary saying that the U.S. brokered Gaza ceasefire launches with Israel withdrawal and a hostage exchange. On October 10th, 2025, Israeli forces withdrew from northern Gaza, starting the first phase of the U.S. brokered ceasefire with Hamas after 2 years of conflict that killed over 40,000 Palestinians. Jesus freaking Christ. Hamas, it says conflict, but it's genocide. Hamas agreed to release women and children hostages within 72 hours in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, while aid convoys entered to tackle the humanitarian crisis. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised the deal as a diplomatic breakthrough, with U.S. personnel deployed to monitor enforcement amid ongoing debates over its long-term viability. So that was my concern. I need to stat check this, but somebody told me who's pretty deep in this said that basically over the past 2 years that there's been ceasefires, and that this man has basically, both sides, but specifically Israel, has stopped the ceasefire or broken the ceasefire, the rules of it, like hundreds of times at this point. At this point, when you say ceasefire, someone's like, yeah, you put your gun down. You put your gun down. You put your gun down, and bam. And then somebody like, so that's what people were like, I don't know if this is actually going to be a long-term thing, but they're saying that there's U.S. personnel that are being deployed to kind of regulate this, which means if the ceasefire does get broken with the U.S. military, that means that would put the U.S. in potential conflict. So the mediation with U.S. personnel being there will hopefully decrease the chances of the ceasefire not being honored, or increase the chances of the ceasefire being honored. I don't know why double negatives, but yeah.
Looking ahead, what guarantees Hamas disarms and that Israel doesn't resume bombing once the hostages are released?
The first thing we're doing is getting our hostages back, okay? And that's what people wanted more than anything else. They wanted these hostages back that have lived in hell like nobody has ever even dreamt possible. And after that, we'll see. But they've agreed to things, and I think it's going to move along pretty well.
Okay, so he said, we'll see. I think it's going to be okay. I would not be assured. If I would not be assured. That kind of rhetoric does not give me reassurance, Mr. President. Apparently, Donald Trump has been wanting the Nobel Peace Prize for this. He believes that he deserves it, and he has earned the Nobel Peace Prize. He's like, look, I stopped the war. Give me my prize. And people are like, bro, there's some people are saying like, yes, give him the prize. Some people are like, bruh, what? Ain't no way that you're asking for the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize is not given to people who asked for the Nobel Peace Prize. Usually you work so hard that it's this earned through your actions, right? If you have to be like, hey, look what I did. Where's my Nobel Peace Prize kind of thing? It's kind of like, come on, man. Come on.
U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as the chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee have seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
Okay, so basically saying nah, dog. We hear it, but we only base it off integrity, and yeah, nah, we're not giving it to Donald Trump. However, a person who has been nominated and has received the Nobel Prize is a woman by the name of Marina Corina Machado, awarded the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, has spent years working for freedom of the Venezuelan people. The Venezuelan regime's rigid hold on power and its repression of the population are not unique in this world. We see the same trends globally. Rule of law abused by those in control, free media silence, critics imprisoned, and societies pushed towards authoritarian rule and militarization. In 2024, more elections were held than ever before, but fewer and fewer are free and fair. Hashtag Nobel Prize. So yes, the Nobel Prize did go to Marina Machado. As you guys can probably imagine, a lot of people were like, why would you give it to her and not to Donald Trump, right? To try to take away from her accomplishments, which I don't think that we need to be doing here, okay? But yeah, so she received the Nobel Peace Prize. Again, her name is Marina Corina Machado, all right? Remember it, okay? For her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy, the Norwegian Nobel Committee. We love it. We love to see it happen. Okay, last but not least, okay, I got to end a little bit with the continuation of the Sinder drama, okay? Again, I want you guys to know that based off my conclusion was that there was a lot of mean girling involved, but it looks like there was some stinky, nasty work that was going on with some of the other parties who cried foul. I'm including Nanolis, Shy Lily, and another girl that was in this whole VTuber drama. I think her name is Silvervale. So it wasn't everything that was seen to say, okay? Cinder being removed, she was, and her boyfriend, that stuff was nasty, really bad. Again, I pointed you guys, there's Evan, there's other, I didn't realize that the summary that I did was AI summary. I feel bad. My bad. Okay, I didn't realize it was an AI summary. How do you guys even feel about AI summaries, by the way? I'm actually kind of curious about that. Anyway, it says, Discord docky. This one isn't 1,000 pages. Okay, so Nanolis was one of the main figures when it came to the cancellation of Cinder. Nanolis is the VTuber artist who I think is now turned VTuber, who was making commissions for all of these other VTubers like Iron Mouse and Silvervale. She was the hottest thing out there. Everybody wanted her product. And a part of the drama had to do with the fact that she made it seem like the reason why she did not actually do her commissions was because of Cinder and Red. But Cinder's counterclaim is that actually Nanolis is a grown woman. And in fact, she had been engaged in a whole bunch of conversation with her, and Red also being a bit of a mean girl, receiving the receiving end of the gossip from Red, and being not so honest, okay? A lot of people have now started to say, wow, Nanolis, you left out a lot of information, and the reason why you actually didn't take on some of these commissions was not just all on Cinder, okay? So new information has come out that she had basically excluded, and a lot of people are not happy with her. This is not a 1,000-page Google document. I will read Nanolis's response to the situation. This was in the Discord where she finally responded and said, hey, everyone. I feel like my closest community deserve a bit of information on recent happenings. First of all, I'm sorry for bringing all this mess to the community. Honestly, it's all on my hands for posting it because I felt it was the right thing to do, mostly to show what's happening on the backstage of things. Back then, I really tried to be the people pleaser and didn't know how to say no to a cool project, and I ended up taking too much I could chew and also keep up with Cinder's projects, which I love to work with. I already worked really hard to keep up with Cinder's rhythm, give her priority, and still wanted to work with new people, which as you could see didn't work well. I canceled many commissions. I did use Mio with his consent as an excuse to my clients, and Mio is not my manager since it didn't work out and I actually cut it from him. I do own my own management. So there was a point in time where Nanolis went to Silvervale and said, hey, sorry, I don't think I can work on your commission. I think I got to cancel it. You know, my manager said XYZ. It's basically a way for you to not just, you know, say that, hey, I don't want to work on it because I'm overburdened right now. None of these canceled commissions were paid up front and communicated months prior to the starting point. The canceled clients know this. Maybe just not Bao. Sorry, I don't remember well, and we have things sorted. I already worked my ass off to please Cinder, and there was a point I thought to myself, why not ask if they want me to be exclusive and they would pay for it, since I was almost doing so. I revisited the first doc, and I'm sorry, I did realize it looks weird. But this was not the whole point. It is about the blacklisting. So she's saying that, yeah, I apologize, it does look weird. The reason why it looks weird is because the context that was added and provided in Cinder's document does look like Nanolis was, again, one of the mean girls in the whole group. Surprise, surprise, a lot of mean girls in the group. And even though Cinder and her boyfriend Red were mean girling as well, it's a culture, you know, and some people kind of feed into it as well. I already worked my ass off to please Cinder. She said the exclusivity did was paid to me, but since I backed out because my friends told me I was being stupid by taking it, it was discounted from a commission payment. The offer was $3,951,000. Okay, I already know that that's not true. I think she's from Brazil or something. I think the actual number is $4,000. Okay, I think the comma thing is like a dot. So cost rigging and Novels Horizon Cinder's figure for my exclusivity. Because yeah, if rigging costs $4 million to make one of those, guys, I tell you, become an artist immediately. By the way, speaking of artists, man, I feel like this is the age of AI is getting so wild, man. Artists, if you're an artist, man, oh my Lord, it's getting really scary. I also want to apologize to the people who has been mentioned with no reason at all on Cinder's doc. I needed help, but didn't think they would be included this way. They have nothing to do with the whole situation. So please don't even bother them about this. And I have learned a lot through this whole situation I caused. Sadly, I will still be working as much as I can because that's what I like to do. Saying no to clients still hurts me, but it's something I'm enduring in respect to them and my own limits. It's always interesting. I talked about this on stream on twitch.tv/InfernoOmni. If you guys would have came, bro, oh my God, it's like night and day. So fun. And maybe we'll do a stream today, this evening as well. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you want to see me live, I'll be live today. Okay, we'll do some yapping about all the things that's happening. But like, I feel like there's this thing in the VTuber space where there's some people who are very good at making themselves like the victim, or like, yeah, man, things are hard for me, and then like getting sympathy. Like it's like magic, man. Like I made the joke that someone was like woke up and they had a headache and like, sorry guys, I can't stream, I have a headache, and I hope and then people will come through and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you have a headache, queen. You don't have to make videos for 3 years and I'll give you $1 million. Like this. It's like this overwhelming amount of sympathy for some of the smallest things, right? But then also it can turn 180 and people can get absolute dunked on hate. It's really scary. It's really scary out here on these VTuber streets. This person here, Multi, said, if anyone deserves to be deplatformed, and I don't say this lightly, it is Nanolis. The drama between Cinder and others could have been resolved peacefully and privately. Nanolis' one job is to take money and do the job the money was for, not to get in the middle of other people's drama. By doing so, Nanolis turned what could have been a simple solution behind the scenes into a full-blown public drama that destroyed friendships, destroyed Cinder's whole career, and created so much trauma for all the girls involved. 90% of the pain the girls have had to go through from this ordeal lands squarely on Nanolis's shoulders. Everyone was quick to shit on Cinder for her lack of accountability, yet there's very little uproar when Nanolis does it too. Nanolis clearly and poorly tries to redirect the blame again onto Cinder, and in doing so shows her true colors. Cinder is not absolved of all her wrongdoings. Most of what happens is more on Red, but everything that happened publicly and everyone who was hurt by it was ultimately hurt by Nanolis's deception. At least Cinder is trying to atone, is punishing herself by giving up her ownership and gamer subs, okay? I mean, I have to say it takes two to tango. It's a group effort. Again, I still feel like there's a lot of mean girling going everywhere. It's like everybody watched Code Geass and then just made it their personality. Like it's one of those spaces where everyone's playing 4D chess, you know, and then, you know, that's what it feels like. A lot of sneakiness going around, and trying to find authentic people in certain type of spaces might be kind of hard because of the non-cropped images that was basically in Cinder's new doc. People are looking at Nanolis in a way like she is definitely also playing mean girl. One of the ones that popped up here, Mama Oko had showed and said, here's Nanolis saying, yeah, looking for me sounds sus for sure. Redacted said, it's so annoying. I don't know, man. Nanolis saying, oh, they're talking about Bao, by the way. Redacted said, she has a way of guilt tripping people to get her way. And then analyst says, we can do a deal. Redacted said, huh? And then analyst said, I canceled my model with Bao like forever. So just mean girls. The Joker would put it, schemers. Schemers, right? Schemers scheming with other schemers to plan another downfall, and then there's politics too as well. It's cutthroat out there. It's cutthroat. For some reason I can't show this picture here because it's like so wide that you can't see it. But there's a quote here with Natalis and the whole conversation that was basically pressed out by Sinder that says, so about this exclusivity thing, I don't think I can do this to Silver because she's still a friend to me and it hurts on me to do that. Then she said, I don't really care about Bao or Cotton. So I was wondering if I could pay back the figure in the rigging with our current comms. I understand if you think that's unfair from my side. Honestly, though, I had the guts. So Natalis was down to clown when it came to being exclusive and basically showed favorites. It's like, yeah, I don't really care about these other people. And her communication is that, you know, I was a bit of a people pleaser. But no. Mean girls. In my opinion, so far, all it is just mean girls being mean girls and getting caught being mean girls, bro. This is the last update because I accidentally made the mistake of pulling up somebody who had used ChatGPT. I don't think this person did as well, okay? And they have a lot of notes, but their summary in their TLDR. This is from Kitsu. Appreciate you contributing this. Said, I read the entirety of the first 4 chapters, including the entire analyst section in TLDR. Red/Sinder did not manipulate Natalis to the extent that it was claimed, okay? Natalis is not innocent. Edited screenshot she posted in her doc left important things out that showed how guilty she is herself. Natalis brought up exclusivity first and even said she'd much rather work with Sinder than with Bao, which was also edited out. Red is paranoid AF. He is very obsessed with Silver. Sinder acknowledged it in her own insecurity. Sinder not as bad as made out to be 5 months ago by Nano. So far, as of reading the first 4 chapters, still have a lot. Notes may missing a thing here that has apologies, blah, blah, blah. So the TLDR is that the blame was not all on Sinder and that Nano did a very good job at cutting certain context points that would make the blame of all this situation fall more on a lot of people involved. And we don't know, at least in my opinion, I don't know how much Natalis may have manipulated the information to outside parties, but I imagine somebody like Bao, for example, who is now seeing all this other clips out of context, might feel a certain way towards Nano, and the fact that she was and all these other people, Cotton, right? Nano was so. TLDR, Sinder still did some bad things. Red, still the biggest goon of them all. Natalis tried to make things seem like she was the victim when she was also a culprit. And that's pretty much the TLDR between those 3. There's more information when it comes to Shy Lily and Silverveil as well and their contributions. I was not able to read that far. But Sinder's claim is that both Shy Lily and Silverveil, they also played a part of deception when it came to this whole situation. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if there's any updates from Shy Lily or Bao or anybody else. But good old VTuber drama, man. Be safe on these streets, man. Like, it's hard. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, okay? And if you a gossip queen, just remember, okay? If you gossip to somebody and someone receives it, they know that you gossip, okay? They know it. And you talk to people who gossip, you will also be on the receiving end of gossip. That's why, for me, I'm not a huge fan of groups of people who gossip amongst each other. That to me is a super huge red flag, a very super huge sign of like disrespect and not the kind of culture that I would try to be. It's why I keep my circle small, because gossip might seem a little bit harmless, but I feel like it's very powerful enough to destroy people's careers here, as you can see. So I don't want to be nothing a part of it, okay? Come to me straight. I would prefer an asshole who's authentic and just says what's on their mind, and does, you know, than a person who's scheming, you know, around the sides to Just give me the freaking asshole up front. But all right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. All right, and I gotta get out of your hair. I gotta go edit this video. 3 days back to back to back to back to back. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. It's so amazing. Okay, you might even see me on Saturday or Sunday. Who knows? I might be going crazy. I'm feeling a ride. I'm feeling a rhythm. Okay, you stay inside. Don't go nowhere. I know you might be like, Omni, I got plans. Somebody wants me. No, don't do it. You're gonna regret it. You're probably having anxiety right now, thinking about going to that thing that you want to go to. Just don't. Stay inside. Play Final Fantasy Tactics with me. Stay inside. Let's play Little Nightmares. Stay inside. It's dangerous, okay? I want some friends. I want you guys to come hang out with me, okay? Twitch.tv/Inferno Omni. I'll be on tonight with some more yab sessions and some gaming sessions and some cozy sessions and getting our nervous system down as much as possible. Thanks so much again for following me, guys. And subscribe if you guys haven't already. If you made it to the end, just double check that you are subscribed to the channel. I would appreciate that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, stay sleazy, and yeah, peace.